Yeah. Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of power sports on YouTube. Today we'll be installing the Takomoto Tidy Tail lighting kit for our 2024 FE501S, and we might also install the Enduro plate, or that might be a separate video. Now before we get started, if you are an experienced mechanic and you are good at doing stuff like this, Takomoto themselves have an 8-minute video on their YouTube, and they go through the whole installation procedure, but again, it's 8 minutes. They're doing over an hour's worth of work in 8 minutes. So if you know what you're doing, go to their video. But if you're like me and you're just a regular average person, you don't really work on stuff a lot, or you don't like working on stuff with wiring, then this video is step by step by step. Nothing cut out. Another thing I'd like to address real quick is that there are cuss words in this video because this appears at the beginning of every one of my videos for a reason. So if you are too dainty to hear a few bad words, then get off my channel and don't come back. I'm sick of hearing complaints. So anyway, we're gonna get started with the Takomoto Tidy Tail kit. So we got everything shipped in. It took about 3 weeks. They're saying they have a 2-week back order. It's no big deal. So we've got our turn signals. They always include some interesting little stickers. We've got our brake light pulsar. I think that's a very critical upgrade if you're going to be riding on the street. We've got the whole kit here, and then we do have the Enduro plate, but as I said, I don't know if this is going to be part of this video or not. It just depends on how everything comes apart in the back. So we're going to get our brake light pulsar out. We're going to get all this out and just kind of set up here. And I actually watched their video. I had to watch their video 4 or 5 times to even get a slight understanding of what's going on here. They're just moving way, way, way too fast. I mean, these guys are professional motorcycle mechanic, racer, whatever. Their whole business is motorcycle parts. So I really wish they would slow down a little bit on their videos, but luckily I have plenty of time on the weekends to make videos for you guys to help out. So we got our LED sequential turn signals with running lights, brake light pulsar. This is the tail light assembly, and all the hardware is present, so that's good. And the tail light has 2 sides. It has a top and then a bottom. It's really hard to see. There's 3 little yellow license plate LEDs that face down. We've got the main harness. They did include zip ties, which is awesome. They mentioned that in their video that zip ties are included, and I was so skeptical, but hey, they were right. They've got a little LED turn signal indicator. They got this harness. Okay. And then is it marked left and right? Yes. So they actually have in Sharpie right and left here. They have green and red color coding. So in the automotive industry, generally when you're color coding something, you want the name of the color to match the R and L. They did not do that here because green, GR, has an R, but red has no L. So if they had done yellow for L and orange for right, that's generally more acceptable in the auto industry, which is where I work. But hey, they at least put Sharpie marker on there for us, so I can't complain. Okay, and then I also grabbed all the tools plus extras that I saw them using in their video: a 8mm socket, a ratchet, Phillips screwdriver, flathead, zip ties, wire cutters. I think it was a 13mm wrench for these, and then some scissors in case I need to get in tight to a zip tie. NOS energy drink, very important to make my way through this potentially very long video. There's nothing like the classic, and that probably dates me quite a bit, but that's fine. So, all right, we're gonna get started. We're gonna need an 8mm. I wish I had a long extension on my 1/4 inch, but we will be fine. So the first thing we need to do is get the headlight assembly off the bike, and I just realized I didn't leave any room on the table for it. Smart. Fix that here in a sec. So there's 2 8mm bolts up top here that hold the whole thing together. So we are going to pull these out. And it probably would have helped to grab a magnet wand, but I don't even know where it is. We have a long-term project in the way in the work bay, and it's a disaster over there. It took over an hour just for me to find where all my tools were hiding. It's fine. It's fine. It's our drift team, you know. You got to support your team members. So homie Brandon over here is doing a 600 horsepower turbo inline 6 M5X build. So you can't say it's an M50 or M52 because he's bastardizing the engine and combining the best of both worlds. So that'll be pretty sweet once it's done. But you guys watching today probably don't give a shit about cars, and you're just all motorcycles. So we are going to... Yep, a magnet wand would have been helpful. All right, magnet wand, if you guys have one, dig it out. All right, they said that this should just pull straight out. I'm always skeptical when people say things like, oh, it should just come out. So it popped off, and now there's 2 grommets in the bottom that we have to oh wow, I am hesitant to just, because I mean homie just pulled it out like and what's kind of frustrating is this looks a little different than the KTM version. It looks like, I'm gonna make sure there's no screws in there. No, they are just pop tabs, but he pulled forward, but these 2 tabs in the bottom need to come up. So I think this is slightly different than the KTM version. I noticed that on some of their other products too, that they generally tend to be working with KTMs. Like when I did the computer install, it was totally different from their install video, even though it was a 2024 KTM, even though the KTM makes both vehicles. So we need to bend this carefully out and get our lines out. Okay, and then we got to be careful. We've got several connectors here, and you should be able to get them all with your thumb. If not, you can use a flat blade. Okay, and then these little tiny ones. Oh, I'm definitely using a flat blade on those. I don't know how he did that with his hands. I think it would be a mistake to just start tugging on them. So this little connector here, push that in. Yeah, I'm not liking this. So you should be able to push in and then slip it back. Yeah, I would strongly recommend using a tool for this and not just trying to yank on it with your hands, because you could potentially do some irreversible damage. Okay, and then this connector, where's the lock on this one? It's got to have a lock. You gonna tell me they put the headlight on without a lock? They did. There's no lock on the headlight connector. That's intelligent. Of course, we're not new to Husqvarna / KTM doing shit engineering. So, all right. I guess I can just move our enduro plate out of the way and just lay this down carefully here. Okay. Probably should take my keys out before I lose them. All right, so now that we've got this out, you can see the OEM turn signals have a anti-rotation piece here. so that you know they're rotated correctly. The new ones do not, so I'm disappointed again, but I mean, I'm assuming for them to injection mold this extra piece was potentially not feasible for a small company, so I'm going to give them a pass on that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get an idea on where my turn signals are, and because the bike's on a stand, so I can't just align it while it's on the stand, so we need a 13mm wrench, and we are going to carefully break them free, okay? And they will fall right off. Now, Takomoto did not, they're serrated. Okay, so the nuts that they give us are serrated, so we will not need any of this hardware that is coming off with the old turn signals. And I have been going out of my way to keep all of the original parts on this bike because I know people are weird like that. If I ever get in a issue where I need to sell it for whatever reason, I want all the original parts intact because, I don't know, people are weird. Like, oh, you upgraded it? How shitty of you. I won't give you full price unless you have the original parts. It's like, bro, this isn't a classic 30-year-old car. Like, give me a break. I'm gonna put it all right back the way it was. That way we don't have any issues in the future. Okay, and just put those there. Okay. Now, they do not have a left or right because the left or right is in the harness. So this is your turn signal and ground, and this is your running light. And the reason why I am confident this is a running light is because, oh man, they put the grommet way too deep on that. The reason why I'm confident it's a running light is because it's an extra piece that they added to the harness, and the only thing that OEM didn't have is the running light. Now, there is... Wait, do these have sides? They're the same. That's interesting. So one light's gonna be upside down on the bike? Oh man. That's just OCD. My OCD's messing me up here, but yeah, okay. So there are no sides to the lights, they're identical. We're gonna go ahead, and then they had a tip. They said do the bullet connector out first and then the regular connector. Then you can feed it through. They did not do a great job with that running light harness. Okay, so and the same thing, they said do the big connector and then do the bullet connector. Okay, we're just gonna hand tighten this for now. I think getting them lined up is going to be kind of a pain. And then this one, we are going to do the bullet connector first. Yeah, what is the deal with that? And then we're going to, and if you hear my computer making jet engine sounds, Windows, as always, is updating it again without my permission. Oh, yep, okay. Yeah, I just tried the wrong way. So big connector and then bullet connector, or it is not gonna cooperate. So really, okay. I am probably gonna come back and do a little bit of an upgrade on these, but you will see once we get further along in the build. So, all right. Okay, so one thing that can help you line them up is this hole here, because this hole was actually technically horizontal. This is probably going to be trial or error. I might even have to come back and loosen it up and do it again. So same here, we're going to spin it to line it as best with this little alignment hole as we can. I really wish they had taken the time to use that alignment hole, but again, I understand a small business can't really do that level of work. Or if they just bought them from a supplier, the supplier then would be at fault. All right, so now how am I supposed to tighten them without them spinning? And then they also, like, wait, that's not a 13. So 13 off and then a different one on. 14 back on, okay. They were very adamant about not over tightening it. So I'm just gonna choke up on the wrench. Okay, I'm gonna get it just a little snug. Whoops, that was the wrong way. Okay, and then we are going to double check again that I did accidentally rotate it just a hair, so we're gonna kind of rotate it back. Okay, I'm just closing one eye and trying to look straight down the stalk. Yeah, this one I really messed up. And then just trying to look straight on. Okay, that seems about even, and we can check on the bike, but again, since the bike's not on the ground, you know, it's gonna be like this. You can kind of check on the bike. I'm pretty okay with that. Pretty okay with that. I don't think it's really gonna matter in the long run, especially once you start off-roading and crashing, and at night, nobody's gonna see it anyway. Just OCD, gotta do shit at least halfway right, or I can't live with it. So I'm gonna hold the stalk, and I'm gonna just very carefully add some pressure. They really didn't tighten it much. Okay, I just heard like a little bit of a noise of pressure. Okay, I'm getting some pressure feedback on the wrench now. Okay, and it's a rubber stalk, so you don't want to overdo it. I'm gonna leave it there. If they start moving or vibrating, you can always, it really wasn't that bad to remove this, so I can always come back in the future and fix them and tighten them up. Better to be loose than to break them and then owe them another $56, $55 plus shipping, so, and 2 weeks apparently. All right. Yeah, I mean, I literally I'm holding the wrench like this, and I'm still not using my full, I mean, I'm barely putting any pressure on that rubber. I think that's kind of important note to, ooh, it moved a little bit down. That one moved a little bit up. Of course it did. And it's tight. They're not gonna move now. Shit. Thought I was holding them tight enough. Gotta be kidding me. Damn. I don't know how I did that. I was paying attention. Again, their 8-minute video is just, it's for professionals, you know? Like somebody who is good at what they're doing and can get the job done quickly, but 8 minutes is a joke for this. Okay, I'm gonna kind of twist back just a little bit to anticipate the light turning in my hand, and then re-snug the, okay. So a lot of people probably just throw these on and not even care if they're straight, but it just bothers me if they're not. Okay, those are almost dead even now. I like that. Close enough. Okay. All right, this will just stay off here to the side, and now we can start working on the more fun part. So one thing that they were saying is that there's these clips here. Things are supposed to be clipped in here. This clip is not even, is this clip broken? Or the factory didn't even clip the wires in. Look at this. From the factory, the wires are not clipped in like they're supposed to be. Real nice. Like I said, I have not been impressed with Husqvarna at all. Just look at this joke. This, I think, is supposed to be clipped down there. It's disgusting for the price they charge. All right, I'm gonna cut the zip ties. So they actually unscrewed it and then cut the zip ties. I'm just gonna cut the zip ties out of my way first. Make sure you're not cutting wires or anything. Okay, so we're going to then, I'm actually going to unscrew this part last. So we, just because I don't want this to be hanging and then potentially fall to the floor when I disconnect everything. So we're just gonna kind of follow our harness back. They have the harness trapped under the front brake. Wait, front brake? Yeah, clutch, derp. I'm not stupid, I swear. They have the harness trapped under the clutch, and the clutch was actually starting to wear into the harness. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna put the harness up front. Yeah, Husqvarna just. And then I think that should just. It looks like they're just slip fit like that other one we disconnected. I don't see any locking tabs that I can push. Okay, that's making me a little nervous. Okay, this is the turn signal harness, so we don't need this anymore. It's the OEM turn signal. So we're just gonna push down on this tab, pull it out. This one, it's just a slip fit tab, so it should come right out. Okay, and then the way they removed this was really odd. They kind of, I think I'm gonna need a flat blade to help me out here. So this is just snapped in here, just plastic to plastic. They made it look so easy. Again, this is why videos like mine are important, because it's not easy for the average dude, and I don't like it when people don't have better information. Like, this is not coming out. I'm gonna have to go get. Okay, so I went and got pliers. It's not really the right way to do it, but I cannot get it out the way that they showed in their video. So I'm gonna really carefully grip on this black part and just kind of try and wiggle it loose. Okay, there it goes. And it's an incandescent bulb. It's not an LED. I mean, for a brand new 2024 and they're using incandescent bulbs, man, not a fan. Probably my last Husqvarna, but I don't know. Maybe they're all like this. Maybe they all suck because they can get away with it. Nobody holds them accountable for their poor engineering. All right, so we have this harness. We need to get this out. I'm assuming being trapped behind this line, like it was not supposed to be trapped behind this line, is causing some of my issues. So okay, what is going on? I think I'm just being a pussy about it because I don't see locking tabs. Yeah, I was just being a pussy. Okay, I don't want to break it, you know, give me a break. All right, so this is ready to come out. All of this, God, kind of rearrange some of this disgusting mess that they didn't. Look at this. Look, this here is supposed to be clipped in here, and it's not. Like, what the Wow. Wow. Or maybe the dealership did this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this where it belongs. So it goes back in the back here, like, where's it supposed to go? I might have to go through their video again, because I know this is not supposed to just be hanging like this, and neither are any of these. It's very frustrating. All right, I'm gonna plug that back in for now. That's all right. Then we're just gonna use a big fat Phillips to take this loose. And I will, whenever I put it back, put the new one on, I will just kind of use my best judgment on where it goes, and probably once I actually get back on the bike, maybe make some adjustments based on thumb placement for best use of the turn signal and horn. So I unfortunately have to use the horn a lot, because people around here suck at driving. All right. Did they give me new screws? They did, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put these screws back in. Very carefully preserve all the OEM parts. Okay. Ooh. Now, we got our new harness, and there's a lot here and there's a lot going on. I'm going to pause the video, take a break, go back and figure out what is going on with all of this, because I know that some of these connectors are supposed to be inside of this clip back here. So that's not really part of this video, but I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna fix it, because either the factory or the dealership were lazy pieces of shit and didn't install it correctly. So we're gonna fix that while we're in here. Okay, so I had to rewatch this section of their video right at about 2:30 multiple times to understand what's going on, and I think it's a combination of them going way too fast in the video on all this complicated stuff, and also whoever put this bike together, the dealership or Husqvarna, screwed it up so bad. Some lazy ass fuck was just like, done, get it out there, 14 grand, screw you. Like, God, pisses. Okay, sorry. So the only connector on this whole thing, so he's saying here that, I'm gonna disconnect this, that the, oh wow, that's a good connection. That's actually a really good connection. Okay, I had to squeeze like this to kind of get the plastic to release it. So this is what they're calling, they pre-put this together probably. So the turn signal harness, this is the turn signal harness. They're saying this connector, this is the only one with this latch, that this latch goes down into this, but this socket's empty. And the only other connector on the whole bike that this would go to is this one. So this black connector here was supposed to be down and back like this, and it was supposed to be inside of this guy with the latch facing down. So if I push it in, yeah, okay, it's going right in, and it should clip. Uh-oh. It should clip in. I see clips. Okay, it clipped in. So I clipped that in the back, so I just fixed whatever asshole screwed my bike up from the factory or at the dealership. And since I don't know who, I'm not going to name the dealership. Okay, so I just heard a click. That clicked into place. You can see here it's in place now. So our turn signal harness is in place. That means that this one here goes down here. So I'm going to have to kind of figure out on my own how they meant for that. I'm going to assume it's supposed to go... No? Oh boy. I'm gonna have to keep going through their videos step by step. This is awful. See, this is why I make these videos, because things that are I just got a text. I bet I know who that is. Things that are supposed to be simple and straightforward like this are not. Getting pretty frustrated. Okay, let's at least do some, well, I need to check that text, but we'll at least put this in because we know how to do this. So, yep, so I was right. That was Brandon. He's like, hey, are you done yet so I can come work on my car? Because he's got, what he's doing right now is extremely noisy. So I was like, you're just going to have to hold off a minute. But I was like, you can come help me because somebody effed my shit all up real bad. Okay, anyway, we will just go ahead and do something simple and straightforward that should not have any issues. So we're gonna pull these screws out. Okay, and so they basically about tripped over that stand. So they said that it needs to go behind the brake, just like this. And that makes sense, because it kind of tucks in there real nice. Actually, and in their video, they had actually had a place for a zip tie. And they did mention make sure these two rubber pieces are back here on the back of this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on loosely, and then, whoop, I got it upside down. And then I'm going to go back to their video again and check one more time on did say don't make sure you don't pinch the wire. Okay. Probably should have covered those mirrors up. I don't like looking at myself, and you don't want to look at me. So it's too late now. I want to get Baja mirrors. Last I checked, they didn't have a Baja mirror that screwed into this factory mount. They wanted you to replace the whole lever. I can't afford that. I can't even really afford this lighting kit, but the factory lights were so shit that I didn't really have much of a choice. And I'll also explain why, because it's all about the back end of the bike, as a lot of you probably already know. So this is an interesting, okay. They said tuck it back, but maybe they were using this zip tie holder to hold it, because I don't see anywhere else that you would be able to put a zip tie on it. And then they did confirm my suspicion that the factory's a bunch of douchebags, and they didn't clip the harness in the harness clip like they were supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, that works much better. And we're going to just carefully clip our harness in here. It's a very weak piece of plastic, so I'm trying to be careful. It's almost like the clutch line is a little short. I probably said brake earlier. Just have to ignore me sometimes. Come on. All right, there we go. So now it's kind of riding along, and they had actually, man, that is stiff. Okay. So they recommended folding it 90 degree, which they got a really stiff protector on here. So I'm gonna bring it down, and right here, I don't know if they pre-folded it or if I just did that on accident, but I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna fold it just like they told me to. So I'm listening, Taco. I'm listening to your instructions. So, and we're gonna just really carefully clip that in, make sure we hear a click. No click. It's in. Yeah, it's in. Okay. So that's in. It's in the proper holder, unlike from the factory. We're gonna, oh, that's gonna suck. Don't tell me I gotta, oh no. How am I supposed to get to those screws? I have a 90 degree screwdriver, but a lot of normal people are not gonna have that because that's actually from installing mud flaps on cars. It was a Rockblox installation tool for super tight spaces to like install mud flaps with, hopefully without taking wheels off if you don't want to or have the time to take wheels off. So I apologize. I'm going to probably end up having to use a tool here that you guys don't have. So I don't know where this came from, but this is the Rockblox 90 degree screwdriver, and it has been a lifesaver, as it will be today. It is, I mean, go to Rockblox's website. I hope they still sell it. It's been years and years, but this thing is unbeatable. So we are going to just kind of half-ass decide how we want these controls to sit, and I want them, I'm probably gonna bring it, this might be an unpopular opinion, now I see why they wanted you to tighten it down first. So I'm gonna try and pull this back through and then bring this, and you don't wanna like be tight, you want a little flex. So I got a little flex. I'm gonna bring this all the way up to my grip because when I'm riding, you know, if I'm like this, I need to be able to thumb that horn, like get the fuck out of my fucking way. This is the get the fuck out of the way. Fuck. Like, I need this button. The people around here, I've had so many people pull out in front of me like I don't exist on a bright white motorcycle in the middle of the day with an orange work shirt. Dude, and again, turn signal, click. Ooh, I love these. The factory turn signal's shit. Like mine's actually sticking even though it's it's only been washed twice. So like the factory turn signal, for one, you don't know if it's on. And then this center click, sometimes I have to hit it. Yeah, this one's nice. And they actually give you a way to turn your headlight off. I always leave my headlight on. I like that horn. It's a good fuck you button. Okay, so all the way up against the grip, and then I don't want to drop the bike down, so I'm just gonna pretend like this is the correct. And I'm gonna get a new kill switch because this. So when I drop the bike off road, I haven't released that video yet. I couldn't kill the engine. The bike's laying on the ground running, and I couldn't get the engine to stop. I had to reach in and grab the key because this. When you have a big thick glove on or when you're panicking and tired, you can't get your hand in there. Anyway, sorry, tangent. All right, so we're just gonna assume that's correct for now, and I might have to come back and adjust her later. And I can also use the plane of my lever, so I actually probably need this. So if I'm grabbing my lever, I need this like there. So we're going to go ahead and start tightening. And this is just plastic, so you can overdo this. Oh, I just pushed it a little bit. It's too high. Is that rain? Can't tell if that's rain or that's Brandon deciding to come help me. I told him he could come over early if he's gonna help. This is not going good. Okay, so All right, so I'm just thumb tightening this. Again, I'll probably have to go and adjust this, but I'm okay with that. The headlights are always on. I've rarely ever used the high beams. The high beam is also more of a fuck you, like the horn. Fuck you, fuck you. Like, okay, they're thumb tight, but we're in plastic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go maybe an 1/8 turn. And if it moves, which I really don't think it's gonna move with those rubber grommets they gave me, that one was actually a little looser. 1/8 turn. That should be plenty. There's no way that's going anywhere. And also one strategy that, again, whoever put this bike together had no clue about was if you leave these controls loose, like leave all this a little loose, just a little loose, maybe not the throttle, but if you leave your levers a little loose and your lights a little loose and when you fall over and you hit something hard in a place you don't want to hit, like this, it'll spin instead of brake. But since I ride this on the road, I cannot be on the highway at high RPM at 70 plus miles an hour and have shit vibrating loose. So I'm actually getting things pretty tight for high speed on road. Okay. So make sure the GoPro's not dead. So I've got this on. I've got the wire where I want it. I don't understand what they were saying about zip ties. I'm assuming they want me to reuse this zip tie here, so that's what I'm gonna do because I don't see any other decent place to do it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that was probably exactly what that was for from the factory. And whatever lazy motherfucker at the factory or dealership that put it together screwed me over. So I'm gonna use my own zip tie. I know they provided them. I've got some pretty good, high quality, thick boy zip ties. So we're going to go ahead and run it through. I'm gonna have to bend the tip down a little and then run it through this hole and then run it back. So now I have to bend the tip in and run it back through. Okay, and then we are gonna run under the bar. Okay. And I may have screwed up on the placement of the head of the zip tie here. So might have to redo this. If I can't move the head somewhere a little more acceptable. So you can see we're kind of protecting this wire and it's a little tight again. I'm gonna pull up just a bit to give it some slack so it can kind of move, and I'm gonna push that slack towards the lever so we're not trying to like pull the wire out of the control box. See, this isn't making sense. I thought they wanted me to tuck it. Again, it's slightly different than I'm gonna have to go back to their video. I'm gonna take another break, go back to the video again. Okay, so here you can clearly see that the KTM version is different. And the way they're doing this is not going to work on the Husqvarna. So I gotta cut the zip tie and start over. Okay, that sucks because that was kind of a pain. So we are going to try again. I'm gonna run this a little differently. I'm gonna run it under the line. I don't really like that, but I don't I don't see much of a choice in order to zip tie this in. So then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna bend my zip tie tip down. I'm gonna have to run it. I'm gonna have to bend it down more. I'm gonna have to run it into this Nope. Come on. Don't play games with me here. What? What is the deal? Bent itself back up. Okay, run it through, and then we're gonna have to bring it, bend it back forward so that we can then slip it into this hole. Okay, and then we have this little tab that kind of retains the zip tie. So this tab can't be blocked by the wire, which is why I'm going underneath with the wire, which I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of that. I don't know what to do at this point. Because I really rather have it like that, but the zip tie is not gonna stay. I really, really wish that these guys would take the time to look at the KTM and the Husqvarna and not just make the incorrect assumption that they're the same. Okay. Man, I think I'm just gonna have to do this totally different. So I'm gonna put this back together. I didn't even have to cut the zip tie at all for the Husqvarna. So I'm just gonna put the zip tie back. Cutters. Cut it as flush as I can. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to get, say, at least 2 more zip ties here, and I am going to use this hard line as my first tie point. So you can see I'm trapping the zip tie on this hard line, and I'm making sure the wire isn't going over any sharp edges. And then I'm not gonna make it too tight, but you don't want it too loose. You don't want it to rub, but you don't want it to like damage the wire. Okay. And then, sorry, is the GoPro recording? Yeah, okay. Paranoia, okay. So I'm gonna then push this back through a little bit to kind of bring it closer in. Okay. And then I'm going to, so we have a sharp edge here, so we don't want to zip tie anything down on this. So and they have a pretty good sheath on it. I'm going to do it right up here at this bend. I think right about there. This one will have to be a little tighter so that the zip tie doesn't slip. Cut it flush, okay? All right, now we gotta go back to this complicated mess that Husqvarna left me with. So there's some things we can do now and some things we cannot. I am still trying to figure out which of these connectors was supposed to go in here. We can, let's see, what did they do? They said that this is supposed to be tucked in here. This one, this one gets connected in here, so you want to tuck that in there also. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to twist that up so they're not. So you can see the wires are kind of loose. I'm going to give them a twist and clean that up because they should not be, they really shouldn't be untwisted like that, especially since there's no sheathing on them. So you don't want to twist it too much and rip them out though. All right, so that goes there, and then this, God, this is a mess. They really messed all this up. This needs to go all the way back. Wait, how am I supposed to get this all the way over here? There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Oh boy, this might be another KTM Husqvarna difference that they did not consider. Shit. Alright, this is gonna have to come back apart. If I can get it back apart. Okay. And then this whole thing will have to come. God. Yeah, 8-minute video. Okay. This whole thing is gonna have to come out through here. Okay. So this little light's got to plug all the way over here. Oh, I wonder. Is it? I wonder if that's why I've been having so much trouble seeing my turn signal. Was it supposed to be installed here? Back to their video. Okay. Yeah, we've got a big problem. So their turn signal light is up here on this. That explains a lot as to why I couldn't ever see my damn turn signal light. Some dumb motherfucker. Oh man, can I even fix that? Oh my god. Like, is this like a twist lock? Oh no. I'm so afraid to break this. This is a big issue. Oh! Fuck, no, please don't be broken. Please don't be broken. Oh man, it's just a push in. Whew. So some fucktard installed it wrong. I cannot get over the stupidity. That had to have been a factory mistake. There's no way that was installed at the dealership. God, all this time I've been having trouble, like, with my turn signal being on, like an Asian driver, like, and it turns out that some asshole installed it wrong at the factory or at the dealership. Wow. Wow. This whole freaking time, 650 miles of riding, mostly on the street, with the wrong turn. Motherfuckers. Okay. So we're gonna very carefully, oh, there is an alignment. So there's a little alignment pin right there and right there. So we're gonna bring this down into here. Carefully. Carefully, don't break, please don't break. Please. Okay. Whew. All right, I can see my turn signal now for the first time in 6 months plus, which means all this probably needs to go back where I had it. Well, no, because there's still something that's supposed to go. Oh, I bet you it's this. I bet this guy. Okay, I'm gonna unplug this, even though that's not part of the. Okay, this guy is supposed to go in here, yeah. And then plug him in. Right? That seems right. Okay. And then this guy, this blue guy, yeah, everything's coming. So now that I moved the turn signal to the right place, everything's kind of coming together now on where everything's supposed to be. So this blue guy, I bet you, goes right in here. Yep. Look at that. Doing the factory's job for them after paying them 14 grand. Lazy fucking pieces of shit. Okay. So now this turn signal wire will now go, or turn signal LED will now go right up in there. And they used rubber to keep the LED safe from water. So it doesn't really like clip in, it just sits in, but in order for it to stay in, they put this here short, and then again I'm going to twist this up a little bit so it's more bundled right there. So then this clip here where we're putting all these wires in is going to kind of help hold everything together. Okay, so yes, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there little by little. Okay, so now we can clip this back together, and this is a fairly obvious connector that nope, hold on, give me a sec here. Well, actually, can I accidentally connect these to the wrong one? Because are they, oh, they're identical. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, but this wire here goes back on the spade terminal. You want to make sure it's tight. Yep, nice and tight, not going anywhere. Okay, kind of just bundle that in there for now, and we'll clip that back, even though I think we actually are gonna have to put more in there. So like maybe these, this and these could maybe all share in there. Yeah, so we're gonna unclip that and then shove all this in there, kind of keep everything, well, maybe not, keep everything together. Okay, much better, much better. All right, and then this is for the running lights, turn signals, one of these is headlight. I'm assuming it's a pass-through. Yeah, so what this is a pass-through for the headlight. So you're going into this, passing through out to the headlight. I'll find out pretty quickly if I did it wrong. So I'm gonna connect that. That probably will need to be zip tied because there's really no room for it, along with this kind of zip tying this out of the way. Okay. Whew. Man, I am worn out and we haven't even gotten to the back. Okay. All right, so all this will have to be zip tied up. So I'm gonna precariously bring this up here. I really don't want to drop this thing. So I'm gonna hook it in, and hopefully it's gonna stay and not hit the floor and get many more cuss words. So L, I'm backwards, so left is right. Left is right, right is left. The world is burning. Okay. Clip them in, and we're gonna, where's the, I really don't like the way they did this, but oh, that actually clipped in. Ah, okay, I feel better now. In their video, it looked like he was actually struggling to get it to clip right, which was odd because generally a product video you would not want to. But anyway, where's the next one? There it is. So we're gonna go with R for right. We can go in and left. Okay, and you can I actually felt it click in there. So I was originally considering putting some heat shrink around this, but that would not be good for repairability. So now we can plug in our pass-through on the headlight. Okay. And then we can plug in our key switch, which someday I need to get a better key switch because the key switch on this thing's total shit. Okay. And that's going to actually put some tension up. Okay. So everything's plugged in. The way that this is falling, I'm not a fan of, but we need to leave room for the headlight heat sink. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do this because I almost don't want to go and start going crazy with the zip ties because they did not actually zip tie any of this. I think probably because this harness here has quite a bit of not harness. This faceplate actually does a good job on its own. Although this is gonna suck. Damn it. How did I do this? Okay, go in. And again, this is different from the way the KTM works. So this is another part of their video that's not really accurate to the Husqvarna. Ow, okay. It got me. All right, so this is back. Okay, I'm kind of just looking at the way these wires are laying in here, and I really don't like that at all. Like, they're just not... Gonna try and push them up above the headlight, and then there's no way I'm getting a zip tie in there though. Damn, I'm just half-assing this. I'm probably gonna regret this later. I'm gonna have electrical problems, or if I wreck, it's gonna, man, I just don't have a better way to get all this stuff. I'm trying to tuck it up top here where it'll at least be safe from itself, but and then this goes, what's going on here? Okay, this goes in. So, and again, unlike their video, this is different on the Husqvarna. So this has to go down in there, and then I am getting a lot of resistance. These big ass connectors are kind of resisting sitting back into the, I'm so close. What is not wanting to go here? Of course you can't see shit. So I don't want these hanging down. I think these two need to not be overlapping somehow. Bring this one, there we go, okay. And I know, I'm sorry you guys can't see this. I can't see it either. That's just the way the world works. So, man, I'm pinching something and that is not good. I got some pressure there. Pressure is bad. Pressure fucks shit up. I almost don't think I'm gonna have a choice. And of course I was not smart enough to go get the magnet wand, so. You know, actually, you could probably start these screws. Yeah, we're gonna hand start these, and then I think it'll just snap in. Maybe it would have been smarter to do it that way than fully removing the screws. Okay. And again, I've got some pressure that I'm, whoops, oh, fuck my mirror up. fighting here. What is going on? Okay. Do not like that pressure. It's making me nervous. But I don't see an alternative. Before we tighten these, we're going to have to try and make sure nothing is pinched. So I'm just going to snug it down enough it won't come loose. And then I'm going to check. I don't see any. Oh, I do see a pinched wire. One of my turn signal wires is in the way. Okay, I pushed that out of the way. Okay, no pinched wires on this side. No pinched wires on this side. Is the turn signal LED still plugged in? Because it looks like the key switch is unplugging it. Shit. Looks like the key switch is trying to unplug our turn signal. Shit. I can't see anything. Just trying to get the screw there. Okay, I got the screwdriver underneath the turn signal. It seems like it's still engaged. It's just they're kind of fighting each other almost. We would almost have to I should be able to start the bike without doing the rear and make sure this all works before we go any further. Interesting. You see that? It's not, the last three are not working. That's interesting. That's very, do I have to do this all over again? Like what, why would the last three not be, unless it's because we didn't get the back hooked up and, oh, it's probably because it's pulling way too many amps to run these incandescents back here. I will hold off on getting pissed until I finish the job, but I just wanted to make sure. I didn't even check what I wanted to check, which was the turn signal indicator. Derp. Okay, turn signal indicator works. So the turn signal indicator hopefully isn't gonna fall out on me. If it does, I'll take this back off and like, not glue, but like silicone it in. So, hey, yeah, so all this time I have been trying to see my turn signal all the way down here because some dumbass installed it wrong when it should have been up here the whole time. So that's great. Okay. All right, so I am happy so far. The turn signals are even enough. That one's a little low. Find out once the bike's back on the ground. Again, I don't think it's gonna matter. All right, so I am going to take an extended break. Also, we already went through one GoPro battery. This one's probably not doing too well. And then we'll come back.